everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to our Alumni Talk, Living Sustainably, the last one of 2020. And I'm happy to have two great speakers here with me today. We have Irina and Stephi from Germany talking about living sustainably. Irina about ending world hunger and Stephi about sustainable gifting. Before we go to the talks and the speakers, I would like to announce that we are planning to have more talks in 2021, and we hope you all come and join us for them, and maybe bring in some more creativity, speakers, and so on. So what do we have in our pockets for you, or in our Christmas gifts for you? We have in January talks to start the year. 2 of the 3 speakers that we have are already confirmed. So we will have Stephi, this change without fear, and we will have Beatrice with beauty is a choice. In February, hopefully we can talk about what can we do in travel in 2021, followed by climate action talks in March. In April, we will offer something for young alumni and AIESECers who think about starting a career. And in May, tools for business is our topic. In June, our talks will be on the World Refugee Day, and taking that occasion also to make talks about refugee topics around Europe and Africa and the Middle East. In July, we have personal development. In August, we take a break, so it's summer. Hopefully we can be at the beach or up in the mountains. Let's hope for that. And then continue in September talking about social enterprises that alumni have started. Then also looking for new entrepreneurs in the Entrepreneur Starter and how to start a business. November, we are still open for your suggestions. And in December, we will talk about planning and goal setting for 2022. So those talks will be around 3 talks per event, where we have like 20 minutes speaking time, and then 10 minutes where you can quiz our speakers and get into a conversation with them. And yeah, please suggest further topics if you know speakers or yourself a speaker who is looking forward to support us in any of the topics mentioned. Feel free to step up, get in contact with me and the rest of AAE, and we hope to hear from you then. And without further ado, now I welcome on the stage Irina. Irina, are you with us?
Yes, hi everyone.
Hi Irina, I will stop sharing and give you the floor. Thank you for being here, and yeah, I'm interested to hear what you have to say, how we can end world hunger.
Thank you, Chris. So I'm just quickly trying to find my presentation. Thank you for having me today. And I hope that you can see the shared presentation, not in PowerPoint, but on the whole screen.
I can see a pizza and a fruit muesli bowl.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's actually correct. This is my presentation for today. So yeah, I'll go ahead and start. So yeah, I chose the very simple and easy to solve problem of world hunger for my alumni talk today. And I just wanted to spread some information about the current state, about the topic world hunger, and also what we can do as AIESECers, because obviously we're always interested in the solution, maybe even more so than the problem. I think most of us know what it's like to be hungry. We get hungry maybe in the morning after a long day of work or after a challenging workout, maybe sometimes even in very inconvenient moments, but we don't really know what it's like to be really, really hungry. That means going for days on end without access to food, without access to proper food, and without access to nourishing food. And a great accomplishment of the developed nations, I think, is that largely we have access to any and all of the foods that we desire at any given moment. So we actually care about what we feed our families, what we eat ourselves, and we even optimize our nutrition to become healthier and live longer. So for us, I think food is more a lifestyle topic than a matter of life and death. And I think if we talk to our families, maybe that wasn't always the case. So this is a picture of my family. On the very right, you see my grandfather, and then me, and then my grandmother, and then my mom and my brother. And this was one of the last pictures that we were able to take together. So my grandfather is unfortunately not with us anymore, but my grandparents vividly remember what it was like to live in past World War II Germany. They were both from poor families, working families, so access to food after World War II was not very easy. And I remember that my grandmother sometimes told me stories about what it was like to be a young mom. She was 18 years old in 1948, and she had her first daughter with my grandfather, and they were living in a very small 30 square meter room with just a tiny stove. And they were not very, didn't have a lot of income. They still knew what it was like to live under food rationings. They were very scared for my aunt, their first daughter, to give her the proper food that she needed as a baby. And from my grandfather's extended family, they were able to get some eggs and some potatoes because they were farmers, but they had to travel very long ways to get these things. And I remember that my grandmother told me that the rent for this very tiny room was half of the salary that my grandfather earned at that time. And it was like, I looked it up actually yesterday, I think he earned around 40 euros a month, if you would convert it to current currency. And she relied on the help of his extended family to feed her own family. And why I'm telling you this story is that because she told me that one time she tried to bake a cake for a special occasion, and she wasn't very experienced yet with baking, and she messed up the dough and she had to throw it away. And she told me that she cried because she knew that this was the only thing she had to make that cake. And to me, when she told me those stories, it was always very detached. I couldn't imagine what it's like to feel that way. And my point here is that I think if we talk to our family members, we might still hear those stories of not having enough access to food, and it's actually a very real problem. And world hunger is still a problem today, not in our grandparents or even maybe parents' generation. And I just wanted to give you some numbers and facts. So 1 in 9 people worldwide go to bed hungry every night. I think that's still a very large number. And it especially affecting children. 45% of all deaths among children under the age of 5 are caused by malnutrition. And it's because of humanitarian crises and war that people are affected by hunger. So war is one of the very prominent causes of hunger. I think this is no surprise to everyone. And what was also something that I found really astonishing is actually that world hunger has risen in the past year. So in my very privileged head, I always thought, well, world hunger is certainly something that people are taking care of, and it's supposed to be probably not a topic anymore in 20 some years or something like that. I mean, that was very ignorant of me, but when I looked up the numbers, I saw that the number of people who do not have access to food or are malnourished has actually risen for the last, in this stat, it's 3 years. Yeah, so it's still a huge problem in the world, and not only war is a causing effect of this, but also climate change. And I think this is maybe not a problem that us in Europe are affected by. I don't think that climate change is, we won't probably experience the effects of climate change as strongly as other countries. And so I think that for us, this reason for world hunger is still, a little detached. But it's affecting countries that are already maybe dealing with war or, those conflicts. And now climate change is exacerbating this problem for them. And as we know, it's the number 2 Sustainable Development Goal by the UN, and I don't think that the number 2 is just a coincidence. I think the UN, after eliminating poverty, has chosen zero hunger as the second goal because it is such a huge problem in the world. And I found some stats from India, how hunger is affecting the country there. But again, we see on this slide that over 800 million people are mal or undernourished in the world. And it's affecting people in South Asia and Africa disproportionately more than, of course, in Europe. So there's a lot of numbers. There's we probably know most of the problems that are around hunger, and we know how it impedes and affects the communities worldwide who are dealing with hunger. So we probably think, cool, great, Irina, that you tell me this very nice story just before Christmas. I feel really good now because I'm depressed. Obviously, I don't want to give all the facts and then have everyone sad at Christmas. I showed you these slides and this information because we can actually do something, even if it's just a very small contribution, but there is a solution from the UN that we can actually make use of as AIESECers. And I want to introduce to you today the Share the Meal app, which was developed by the United Nations World Food Programme in 2015. So right around the year when the number of people affected by hunger started to rise again, as we saw in the slides before. And this was actually a startup that was founded by the incubator program from the UN. And I think it's an Austrian guy who came up with the idea, and this app has won several awards, and it's very much talked about in various media. So me, in my profession, I work with Salesforce a lot, and I attended last week the virtual Salesforce conference, the Dreamforce conference, and there he was also giving a talk in a break and talking about the app. And obviously this conference is broadcasted all over the world with several million people watching. So I think he had a very huge audience to promote the app there. And they also ranked up quite impressive numbers so far. I tried the app myself, and I'm using it, on and off whenever I remember to think about it, actually. And it's a very easy way to share and to donate money to especially children who need proper food. Before I go more into the app, I want to play a guessing game with you. So how much do you guys think does it cost to feed one hungry child for one day? And since I can't see anyone, if it's possible that you can unmute, you can just tell me. Does anyone have a guess?
$1 or $2 maybe per day.
Anyone else have any ideas?
$3.
Okay, I'll tell you, because you were quite good at guessing, but you were still too high. It's just 80 cents or 70 euro cents that is needed to feed one hungry child for one day. And I think that's the beauty of this app, is that it actually doesn't take much to help someone else out. And I also think it's a good way for us, as we're not really in those communities and we can't really go there and cook something and be there and help them, but we can use the app and we can support the UN World Food Programme by just donating a little. And I think maybe this is also a very good point in time to have this talk. So I'm very happy that you asked me to do this today with Christmas coming up, because we will be with our families in the upcoming days as much as we probably can, considering the pandemic. And we will celebrate a holiday tradition where we eat a lot and we have various different foods available. And maybe this is a good time to just help others in need and think about if we have all those delicious meals that for some people in the world, or some is the very wrong word here, for a lot of people, this is not the case. And I think while we wait for the politicians to get going on climate change, we can do a very small contribution and help everyone who is affected by world hunger. So I strongly encourage you to download the app. It's very easy, very simple. You have a lot of materials and information. You can go on the sharethemeal.org website and get some more information on who's behind it, which projects are supported, which countries are supported. So you can obviously gather more information to see if this is an app that you would like to use. I think it's very easy to use, and I totally think it's one of the coolest ideas that has ever been on any app store. So install it. And one other thing I want to mention is that there is an AIESEC Alumni group. So you can donate for this team. I'm sorry that this is all in German. I just took some screenshots from my app. And I just built this group when I started using the app. And as you can see, we just have 7 members, so we're not so big. But in this way, I'd like to encourage more AIESEC alumni from all over Europe to find this group on the app if you decide to donate, and donate for the team, so that we as AIESEC alumni can have a bigger impact, not only this Christmas, but maybe starting this Christmas. So my call to action is install the app and download for #AIESEC Alumni. And let's move something together. So with that, I want to thank you, wish you happy holidays, enjoy your time with your families as much as you can. And if you have some spare time and some spare change, I think it's well invested in the Share the Meal app. Thank you.
Thank you, Irina. I think it was very emotional, very interesting. I'm already on my phone looking for the team and looking
at
the app already. How long have you been how long ago did you found the app?
I think it's maybe a year ago that I found it, and I was very much still in the project of World Cleanup Day and very involved in this, and I just wanted to take my time and learn more about the app and the projects and just use it for a little before I recommend it to anyone. But I thought after some time of using it that it was a really easy way to help other people.
Which projects did you support so far? Is there anything you can tell a little bit more about the specific one?
Yeah, when the war in Yemen was very prominent in the news, or when I first heard about that, and I think that's still ongoing. I think we saw that a lot of hospitals were bombed and a lot of children were out on the street left alone, and hunger obviously was in this war zone a huge problem, and it became a huge problem. So that was something that I supported, and the app actually gives you several suggestions of where your help is most needed. So even if you're not super up to date, I think there's so many good regions and initiatives and causes that you can support.
Okay, let me ask the others. Steffi, Gergely, Daniela, do you have questions for Irina that you want to pose? Then feel free to switch on your camera and mic and ask her.
Irina, maybe you can share how much did you spend, or what's an amount for a donation that is making a change?
So you can actually just donate the 70. For me, I have the euro currency, obviously. So you can make a one-time donation of 70 cents. So you don't have to donate like a larger amount. And what I used to do is when I started using the app a year ago, I had like a 1 month period where I was always, when I went to lunch with my colleagues at work, before I started eating, I donated 70 cents. And so I thought I'm sharing my lunch with someone else. But as the app is obviously developing and a lot of people in the startup in Berlin are working on improving it, you can also have a more steady donation. So you could pay something monthly, or you can pay, I think you can sponsor a child for a week. So you can pay 7 days, which would be for 90. So you have different options on how much you want to spend at a given time.
Okay, thank you so much. It's a great way to contribute.
So, good afternoon, Irina. First of all, let me give you a praise that it was a really, really great talk. And also, I would like to ask whether you have heard a new, not that new, initiative of the Czech Republic that all unsold food must be given to food banks. And unsold food means that they are not expired, or maybe expired but safe to consume. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard about it? But I guess it's a great initiative from a country which was also heavily affected by the planned economy for like 40 years or something.
Yeah. I think this is the nice thing, that communities always find a way to share, and it's always that restores my faith in humanity, because at the end of the day, if we are in crises, we always choose to share, and I think this is such a nice thing that makes us human, that even though we live in different like economic systems, if anything goes south and anything goes wrong, we choose to share, and we find creative ways to share our resources. And yeah. So I love hearing all those stories from all the countries, yeah. But I didn't know that, so thank you.
I have to say thanks for your answer, Irina. And once again, it was a great talk. And also it makes our brains move a little bit differently.
Yeah, when I thought about how much money it would take, I was in the region of your guesses too, and I thought, it can't be so expensive, but then again, it can't be for free, but that it's actually close to zero in a way. That was a very shocking number to me, yeah.
Thank you very much, Irina. clapping from the audience, but it's only me you can hear. Thank you very much joining us today and give us maybe some good idea of where to donate still in this period of giving and gifting. And giving and gifting is a very nice move to our next presenter, which is Stephi. And Stephi will tell us a little bit more about other sustainable gifting options. So, Stephi, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Chris. Please give me a moment. I will share my presentation and my screen with you. Can you see my screen here?
Yes, if you can go full screen, that would be cool. Presentation mode, but we can see it.
Okay. So, thank you again for having me here today, and I'm happy that you will follow with my alumni talk of sustainable gifting. First of all, I'd like to give you a brief introduction about the different chapters I prepared for today. So let's start with the agenda. The first part of this talk will be the answer to the question, why is sustainable and zero waste gifting maybe important and maybe also interesting to you? Then I will showcase different ways of gifting. I prepared a couple of categories for the sustainable gifts. And of course, I would like to give you some concrete ideas, maybe some tips also for those who need to do some last minute shopping and how it is connected also to sustainability and how you can make a contribution here. And why sustainable and zero waste gifts? So to give you a brief overview why I'm talking about this topic, I came across it a couple of years ago, and I started step by step to reflect also my own gifting and behavior and my own consumption here, and to contribute a bit more to the sustainable development goals. And while doing the research for this talk today, and a very nice quotation. Christmas is the spirit of giving without the thought of getting. And Christmas, of course, is a time of reflection, of inner peace, maybe also a time for your inner light to shine and also reflect the last year. But what I came across is that Christmas time is not about the number of gifts, the monetary value, or maybe the amount of money you spend for the gifts, and also not really about the colorful wrap packages below the Christmas tree. So this is also a time to make a contribution to the society and also to the environment. But of course, if you give something, the best thing in return is a broad smile. So this is why I think this quotation fits quite well to answer this question. And of course, there are many categories of gifts. So let's start with eco-gifts. And eco-gifts are those gifts which make a contribution to the environment, also climate change, because we all know that the topic of climate change, and Irina mentioned it before, it's still something that we face all across the globe, that it is a threat to us, to humanity, to the environment, but also that we are facing a loss of biodiversity. And for example, in terms of, you can see the little p, we are facing a loss of 75% of flying insects. And this is quite a huge amount. And with eco-gifts, you can make a contribution to Sustainable Development Goal 13, which is climate action, and also number 15, which is life on land. So how can you do that exactly? Of course, for those of the gifted ones who care about the environment, you can do following. those who have a garden or maybe a balcony, you can gift some wooden bee hotels. Otherwise, if there is no balcony and no garden, you can also gift a bee sponsorship, which is a very nice way to make a contribution and to provide a space, livelihood, a safe space for these little insects, which are quite important for our nature in terms of the pollination of bees and of flowers, of course. Connected to this one, what you can also do is number 2. So what you can do is to gift some insect-friendly plants, but wherever you are, you should keep in mind that it is important to buy local flowers, which are important for the insects. It is a problem if you buy any exotic flowers because it's not a very good nutrition for local bees and bumblebees. Otherwise, what you can also gift is wildflower seeds. And of course, what is a very nice way to reduce CO2 and to provide also a natural habitat for animals is number 3, which is a tree sponsorship. You can choose a tree and just gift it to the one you would like to give for the beautiful present to save the environment. And we have zero waste and sustainable gifts. So zero waste gifts are those gifts or those products which don't need any packaging or probably not so much packaging. And if any material is used, it's important that this is that you can recycle it. And sustainable gifts contribute to those gifts which are, for example, are produced locally or which take into consideration sustainable materials like organic cotton, or which also contribute to fair trade and, of course, fair wages wherever you
Okay, it seems there are some technical issues on Steffi's side, so let's wait for her to come back. Maybe to the audience, quick questions. How far are you with getting all the gifts in for Christmas? And have you done the wrapping already? Maybe you can either switch on your camera and talk, or yeah, or just write in the chat and we can read that out aloud. Irina, what about you?
Yeah, I was just trying to get everything on. I hope you can hear me because sometimes my internet is not so good as well. Okay. What I used to love wrapping gifts because I thought this was such a nice activity. But nowadays I actually keep the wrapping paper from gifts I get and then I reuse it. So sometimes the gift doesn't look as shiny, because I'm trying to be very meticulous with the wrapping paper and trying not to rip it in any part. But yeah, I sometimes reuse it, and then oftentimes I don't wrap it at all anymore, actually. So I'm just like, here, I bought this for you. I thought you might like it. So yeah.
I do actually the same. I have 2 boxes. One is for wrapping paper, and then I use washi tape to cover the holes and everything. And then I have a box in which I collect all kinds of strings. Yeah, the nice one, the super nice one, the not so nice one. You can find a reuse for everything you have, and I'm actually in the middle of it. So tomorrow on my bike, I will feel like an overloaded Santa sleigh on the way to either the post office or the pack station to send it off, because really seeing somebody is limited for me to one person. So for one person, I will put the Christmas gifts at my home below Christmas pyramid. But for the others, kind of tomorrow is kind of the deadline. Send it off in the hopes that I will make it on time.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Gergely, you had switched on your video. What's your situation?
As for me, I completely agree with you with these wrappings, that I don't really wrap my gifts up anymore. If the gifts what I have bought are already pre-packed, I just keep it on, because I have already packed it, and if it is not packed, I just use a very simple one like this. This goes to my sister, and also I have something more which is also pre-packed, and actually the box looks really nice, so I just keep it. Okay, just a moment. So it looks like this. It's already pre-packed, so I don't have to wrap it up again. So I guess most of the time I'm already done with gifting. And to be honest, we do not really visit our family, or we do not plan any great eating festivities, because right now the pandemic just doesn't allow it.
I think while you were talking, I was thinking of 2 more things that I usually do. So one thing is just a simple bow on something can make already the difference. And I already learned, like, usually I do a very nice calendar of where the hell I've been the whole year. So for this year, the one that I made and gifted at last Christmas was about Brazil, my last big trip. This year I did a calendar, even though I was nearly nowhere, and it's called Next Travel Destinations. So kind of the pictures that did not make it to the calendars of the last 10 years, they got their shine and bright in the calendar for 2021. And usually I wrapped it very tight and made packaging around it, but I always got the feedback that then the calendar did not kind of become flat again on the wall. So this time I kept it very light and just put a string around it. And the second thing is I usually collected a lot of kind of paper bags from stores that give them to you. So from here and there, but also everywhere in the world. And I also try to start using those instead of keeping them just somewhere hidden in my flat. I try to use them as a way of wrapping or packaging the gifts. Irina, do you have any more ideas? Well, I'll try to connect with Steffi.
Maybe not about wrapping, but yeah, to me, actually, because a lot of people say, oh, I have to think about something very special to give to someone, but to me, like a pair of socks is still a very good gift, even better if it's homemade. So I appreciate even more if someone actually makes them, because I know that it's sometimes frustrating. You have 4 needles that you need to coordinate in some way. And yeah, so I think homemade stuff is the best gift. Even better if it's something edible. So my mom always makes a ton of Christmas cookies, and then I get a package sent to me. And it's always in great letters. She writes on it, please don't throw it. This is super fragile. And all the people who deliver it are usually very careful. So I always receive a package of nice Christmas cookies.
Actually, I got that package already this week, and I think my mom was tracking it with the DHL app, and then kind of as soon as it was delivered, I got the WhatsApp saying, you're allowed to take the herbs out for the Christmas goose and the chocolate cake, but the rest has to stay in the box for Christmas. Don't touch. And I have to say the Christmas chocolate cake is very, very good. Nearly finished it. Like the rest of today will do the trick. My brother got nearly the same package without the herbs for the goose, and he said he was thinking of doing kind of this video where he has the full box, then he eats one piece and makes kind of a picture after each bite. But when he realized he could do that, half the box was already empty of the chocolate cake. So no luck there. And it seems like Steffi is still off. So let's think about what else. Maybe I can share a couple of things that I think are sustainable gifts that I will do this year. One is from a Kickstarter or Indiegogo startup that I'm already supporting for a couple of years now, and they're called Last Object. And basically, they're trying to make objects that are you're consuming on a kind of daily basis. And I think we are so used to it nowadays that we do not think about it anymore. So what they did is they made that object, but in a reusable fashion. So they started, and I think I gifted that last year, that were Q-tips that you could reuse. And that were kind of for your ears or for makeup for the girls, maybe also the men, so they don't discriminate anyone on that. But that was one thing, and with that it started. And then they came out, I think this summer, with the Lost Tissue. So now I have actually two Lost Tissue containers, you could say, so with tissues. One in my kind of work backpack and one at home to sneeze my nose or do other things. And then the last thing that I got from them is just thinking what's the English name for it. It's to clean also makeup and your face. And
yeah, I have those too. Not from that company, but my best friend made them for me. And I only used them for, I think, 2 years now. She gave them to me on a birthday. And I think this was also such a cool gift because I use it on a daily basis. And I always think of her when I'm taking off my makeup. I'm like, oh, it's so cool that she made this for me. It's a whole jar of like 15 little pads.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Exactly. And this has also a container, so it's fantastic when we can start traveling again. But that's, for example, something I gave Steffi last year or this year actually, for her birthday. I think I sat there at, what was it, a winter event and was crocheting the pets.
Yeah, I saw that. That was so beautiful. I was really jealous of Steffi.
Maybe make your wish to Santa, and I think Steffi will come back. Then I think another thing is, as we spend a lot of time at home, it's really good to gift something regarding handicraft where people can do something, keep themselves busy. So I will gift some origami papers with instructions on what you can fold out of it, and just to make the person a bit surer about what could be the outcome, I also kind of folded them myself and included that inside the box, just to give how can the example look like. And yeah, so that's that. I'm thinking like this calendar, I think this is also a nice idea, which I always do. And always from places where I have been or where I want to go. And I think we have Steffi back in the room. Welcome back, Steffi.
Hello, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that somehow I was offline, and I have no idea where I lost you, to be honest.
On this slide which says zero waste and sustainable gifts, but Irina, Gergely and I ran the show. We were talking about sustainable gifts, some sustainable wrapping, so maybe you continue on the digital gift slide, I would suggest.
Okay, great. You guys are fantastic. So sorry again. Okay, let me share again my screen. All right. And digital gift.
Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah.
Of course. So you can see the screen?
Yes.
Yes, digital gifts. Why are digital gifts connected to sustainable gifting? Of course, we talked before about physical gifts. So you need material to produce them, and you need also, you also need to send them away. And for example, if you would like to send a parcel for Christmas, it needs a lot of energy and other resources to be made and to send them away. So the advantage here is for sustainable gifts, for digital gifts, that you don't need any material to produce them, and then that you also don't need any packaging or wrapping to make it look very nice. So how can you contribute here, and what are the digital gifts I would like to suggest? So for those who are interested in doing sports, you can, for example, gift online yoga class. Otherwise, you can also gift ebooks, and the advantage here is that you don't need any trees to cut to make the paper and to make a physical book. And what you can also take into consideration is that with a parcel for ebooks, the gifted one can choose between a couple of different topics, and this is also very nice if you don't really know what kind of book is interesting at the moment. Otherwise, we have online learning platforms, and those who are eager to learn will really appreciate such a gift voucher, and maybe you can also learn together as well. Then we have the next category, self-made gifts. It's a very classical category, but it needs some inspiration and needs some of your precious time. But the advantage here is it shows a lot of appreciation for the one you are going to gift. And how to bring in the sustainability part here is, for example, what you can do is to choose some of the materials to use maybe organic cotton, to knit a scarf or some very warm Christmas socks. And of course, if you are more the one who likes to cook and bake, you can also use fair trade ingredients as well. So why not making something? Why not making self-made gifts which show a lot of appreciation? And I guess maybe there will be a lot of people who would be very happy about a warm scarf or nice this Christmas time. You know, it's also a cozy time. Then we have the last category, and this is time. So why am I talking about time? Time is a very scarce resource we all have, but also something very, very precious. We have it from our professional work to our leisure time, maybe self-development courses or whatever. And in the end, we realize that there is only a very short amount of time left for family and friends. So what can you do to give something that is very precious and shows maybe and probably the most appreciation for the gifted one? Of course, you can spend some time together and go maybe and hopefully to concerts. So why don't you buy a concert? If it's not possible, what can you do here is you can transform it into a digital gift. For example, you can gift some online piano classes and make some music together and spend some time here together. A very classic gift is going out to a restaurant, maybe to support the local economy as well, which is in a very desolate and difficult situation. Otherwise, you can buy some ingredients and cook together, or you can transform it into a digital gift again and book a voucher for online cooking classes or online wine tasting as well. And those, again, who are eager to learn, what can you do here is you can gift something that you can learn maybe together, like a language, and spend some time together for practicing and developing together as well. And of course, those who are impatient and wait for the next possibility to explore the world. And what can you do here is you can gift also a voucher from a local travel agency. And so this is also supporting local economy because maybe you know that tourism industry is in a very severe situation this year, but vouchers are very nice way to show some commitment. And first, I'd like to give you some of my personal examples. You can see here a soap bar, which doesn't need any additional wrapping because it uses a little piece of paper, which you can recycle, and it looks, I guess, in this way, very nice to be gifted. Then you can see a huge wooden tree with some bags, and this is a reusable advent calendar. This is also a self-made gift. So the tree was made by a friend, and I sewed the little bags here, and it's refillable each and every year and looks, I guess, very nice in your living room as well. You can see another little Christmas tree. This is also an advent calendar, which was a gift from my friends. And this is a gift that is supporting different social and ecological projects. For example, to gift a tree or to gift a meal to a malnutrition child in a third world country. So this is also a very nice way instead of buying something that maybe the gifted one already has. For those who are interested in well-being and wellness, you can see here a natural sponge, which is reusable and also recyclable, a bamboo lady safe, and also some body oil in a glass bottle. And on the left corner, what you can see here is locally produced sweets. I will gift also away this year. And of course, here's some concrete ideas and tips, some inspiration for eco gifts. Those who are interested, for example, in gardening, but have no space and capacity, maybe an indoor herb garden is something very nice to give away. due to support and save biodiversity and the environment. There's also a DIYB hotel you can do if you have a little bit of time left. Of course, the classical one, gift a tree, and some sustainable fashion and zero waste shops to order online if there's some time left. Some of the digital gifts I mentioned, like yoga classes, cooking classes, and so on. And if you would like to start with your paper card, what you can do is, instead of giving away a Christmas paper card, you can make a little video, which is also very nice and something very individual you can gift away. And you can have the whole presentation sent out in terms of the ideas I collected here. And I would like to thank you very much for your time, for your patience, and the disturbance. And I'm happy to be here, and have a merry time, Merry Christmas, take care and stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Steffi. Very good. You see, Irina is clapping as well. We already kind of shared some of our ideas, our gifts that we already bought or wrapped or not wrapped. What is your favorite gift that you will gift in 2020?
Very good question. I will gift the tree sponsorship, and I guess this will be one of my favorites, because to be very honest with you, it's for some friends who have, let's say, everything. So the question was, what can I gift here? They don't have so much time. They have everything. So what I wanted to showcase is that other things like environmental protection are very, very important. And I also wanted to showcase that I'm really into this topic, and I just told them, don't buy any physical gifts. Please don't do this. Let's make a donation. This is more meaningful and much more powerful than buying any physical gift I maybe also have already. So this is, I guess, my favorite.
Okay, great. Irina, may we ask you as well? And Gergely, what's your favorite gifts of the one that you will hand out this Christmas or this year?
I can quickly start. I just didn't want to interrupt Gergely. So I actually have a homemade gift. Every year I make a calendar for my mom. So while we're away during the year, she has a picture of me, my brother, or someone else from the family for each month. And I usually draw and craft some little things into the calendar. And I must say that this year I can't wait to give it to her, because this year I think it's the best one that I've done so far. So I can't wait to give it to her, because she always looks at each picture, and it's always so cool to see that this is actually the best thing that I could give to her. And it's always so much fun to make.
Yeah. Gergely, do you have a favorite gift that you will hand out this year?
Well, to be honest, I would definitely say this one, which is this kind of pre-packaged gift for my grandma, and actually she really needs these. And in fact, she can reuse the package for storing different stuff like the spices and other stuff. So this doesn't go to the drain or the rubbish bin. So I would definitely say, choose the one I have just showed you.
Okay.
Yeah. So this time it will be a little bit. Very different, because this time we are not visiting my sister's home in Budapest. So it will be really different. and also for me will be very different because I will be working between the 2 holidays.
Okay. Let me ask another question, Steffi. What's your self-made gift of the year?
My self-made gift of the year. I didn't have time, to be honest, to make a really nice self-made gift. Because from time to time I sew something, but it needs more practice. So in terms of self-made gifts, I'm sorry to say that I have none.
Okay. Irina, besides the calendar, did you do anything else in the self-made category?
No, I was actually just thinking. No, I actually didn't. But I knitted some hats 2 years ago, and they were really popular in my family. So my brother's always like, "This is my favorite hat," and he puts it on, and yeah. So yeah, I think this is so much fun because this is a gift that kind of keeps on giving. So yeah.
Like I think at the beginning of the year, or let's say the first 4 months, I was really into handicrafts. Like I did this crochet thing that Steffi was the benefactor of. And then at the beginning of the shutdown, or better for me, it was self-quarantine after the winter event. So I found like I think you can maybe see that whole chest of drawers. That's actually my DIY drawers. And I found stuff that I didn't know I was still having. So I have still a lot of embroidery tablecloths and stuff like that. So I had a couple of started ones. So I finished those in spring and gave that kind of as gifts around, Easter, or also for birthdays over the year. I still have a couple, so there is I just need more time to work on those. And I think a last idea that I saw and that I probably want to put in practice over the next year is, which also comes back to the wrapping paper. And even the one that you've stored from last Christmas, there are some bits and pieces and holes inside, and you have to cut off to make it work for the new gift. So I found a good idea what to do instead of throwing also those knits and pieces away. You can make Christmas cards out of it. Like kind of if you just, I saw that somewhere, you can, if you have just kind of rectangulars, kind of small ones, or you can cut them like that, even smaller. You just make kind of 5 candles. So, and then you put it on the paper, and then you just make the candle light on top, and you have a Christmas card. Where you can fold it a little bit to a Christmas store or a Christmas tree or something like that. So also still the scraps can have a third life in that respect. So I guess I found a couple of Christmas cards. So for this year, I'm safe, but I already collected the small pieces for kind of the next version, the 2021 Christmas cards. Yeah.
That's a nice idea.
Yeah, I saw it somewhere. I thought, hey, I can buy it and pay it, and of course the person will be happy, but actually I have all the material at home. So on a lazy winter Sunday afternoon, why don't I do something like that? Or listen to an alumni talk maybe, but that's also an option. Yeah. Do you have a question for Steffi, Irina, on the gifting? Any ideas?
I just want to have the telephone number of the friend who gave you the wooden advent calendar, because I really think this is so cool. This is such a cute idea.
Yeah, I can ask him if he has some time maybe to make it professionally, and can provide the number, but let me check first, because he's very passionate to work with wood, and he's quite good at it. So
also, if he has tips on how to do it yourself, because I'm not very gifted with working with my hands, but yeah, maybe he has some hot tips.
Yeah, I will ask him for sure. Yeah, I guess the last gift I was making myself, even before the wooden tree and the little pouches I used, I tried to make some sketches, and I wrote down a story and make a little sketching book. But I'm not very gifted in drawing, and it looked a bit funny, I guess, but it took quite a while to make it very nice and to work out what the figures should look like. And I don't know, this was 5 or 6 years ago. It was a lot of fun, but drawing is very funny if I do it.
I just think of one thing that I probably still will do tonight before I send off the parcels tomorrow is my mom. I don't know if you two know those, but they are kind of little angels from the Erzgebirge that are very known. They have green wings with 11 white dots, and my mom is a collector and she likes that, and we always had them already like 40 years ago. And of course the collection is getting bigger, and there is something they call, either they call it clouds or angel mountain or something like that, and you can buy that for, it's a piece of wood. Maybe it has like a staircase thing where you can place all your little figures. And kind of to put the price, for a piece of wood with a bit of color on it. And, it's not the angel itself, which is elaborate and all the painting and so, but kind of this painting, kind of one piece of wood in blue is like not so big. So I thought of, isn't there a way I can do something like that on my own? And I was reminding myself that I had still kind of wooden round pieces. Thinking now kind of gluing them together to kind of have kind of this angel mountain, maybe even kind of in a staircase way. And then I still think I still have some spray paint. So doing it myself, yeah. So sometimes it's just kind of material, having an idea and having the time. So I think that's something I will do after our alumni talk here, because just before the call, I stumbled across the wooden things. Couldn't find them earlier when I had the idea, but now I have found the material. So actually, I have everything in place.
And it's
Great.
Unique, This is not something
exactly.
that exists a second time, so makes it even more special.
That's true. That's true. And I would say we're nearly at the end. I would say I would like to invite everyone to join us in 2021 for all the upcoming alumni talks we will have there. The speakers will be as great as our two speakers today. I thank very much Steffi and Irina for joining me today. It was a pleasure. It was a Christmassy one, and let me see, I think I have one more slide to share today, and I hope you can see it all. And I wish you a very good Christmas. I hope you see virtually or physically a couple of people and have a great gift exchange. And a healthy and happy new year, and see you all in 2021. Thank you very much, and have a nice afternoon, evening. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, and
thank you, Merry Christmas.
And happy holidays for everyone.
Thank you, you too.
Great.